Hi guys, and welcome to the Business as Unusual show. I hope everybody is doing well on this mad Wednesday that we find ourselves in right now. So we have got a fantastic guest on the show today. We have Andrew Dicker from Geo Brand, which we're going to introduce very, very shortly. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Luke. I'm the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media and Giant Campus, and this is the Business as Unusual show. It was started in initial lockdown. Lockdown continues, so we do, and this is episode 58. Can you believe it? We're going to interview our business-focused guests. We're going to test them on their sector knowledge and their specialist subject in our live mastermind quiz. And we're here to bring you a break from the boredom of Zoom and hopefully make isolation feel a little bit less isolating itself. Right, so let's have a look what's going on in the news. So, in a week where studies have shown that the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine may reduce the spread and not only the symptoms of the virus, being hailed as absolutely superb by the Health Secretary. He knows how to celebrate his wins. In a win for the whole internet, Bebo founder Michael Birch says he is bringing back the iconic social media platform to take on Facebook. The holding page for the news site now attracts one visitor every 3 seconds, even though it's not even built yet. Forget blogging. Time to code early and code often, Mr. Birch. In tragic news, the internet pays homage to Captain Sir Thomas More with tributes and coverage across every platform following news of his death. With Boris Johnson to lead the national clap for the hero today at 6 p.m, all we can say here at Sleeping Giant Media is Captain Tom, we salute you. So let's try to forget about the world around us for 30 minutes and let's conclude Hump Day. And we didn't even mention Jeff with another Business as Unusual. So hi guys, and welcome to the Business as Unusual show. So on the show today we have the burning question of the week. We're going to be focusing a little bit on Reddit and the stock market, so you can have a chip in with your comments and thoughts there. That'd be great to get you involved in chat. As we do this, obviously do put your comments in the chat. We've got some questions that we can put to our guest as we go along. We're also going to meet our guest, which is Andrew Dicker from Geo Brand, in a minute. And we're also going to put him through the Mastermind Challenge, which is new for 2021. And we're going to look at the leaderboard as well, which I don't know if we've updated now that I think about it. But still, we're going to see how he gets on in that quiz. We've had some slight technical problems, as always. You know, that's the joy. But let's just see if I press this button. Hopefully, Andrew is going to be there waiting. Yes. Are you there? Can you hear me? Can we hear you?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the internet's not going to let me down today, but we'll see.
We shall see. It's early yet. It's early yet. That was slightly stressful, but that's just the nature of live shows these days. How you getting on, Andrew? How's things?
Really good, thank you. Yeah, it's been a busy start to the year and lots to keep us busy. So yeah, really good, thank you.
Awesome. And so I can't. You're on your kitchen at this moment, so I'm guessing you're not in the office at this stage.
No. I tend to spread around my house. One day I'll do in the lounge, then in the kitchen, the dining room. So today in the kitchen, where, in my opinion, all the best things happen in the kitchen. So
absolutely,
that's what,
it's interesting. I was sitting. We were sitting down last night actually, and it felt like yesterday felt a bit like with the news and obviously with Captain Tom as well. It was just one of those days where you're like, oh man, this isn't great. And we actually sat in another room of our house, doing the same thing that we always do, and we were just like, this feels really good. It's like it feels like a little bit of a holiday. I think that's kind of just.
I had a moment in here the other day. Actually, I was just having a drink with my partner, and I've just pimped up all the lights and everything. So we were sat in here, and all the lights were going. Like if you kind of squint your eyes, it could almost feel like we're in a pub. It was incredible.
Amazing, and that's what we've been reduced to, the excitement of sitting in another room of our house. That's the height of 2021 so far. Let's hope it gets a little bit more exciting as well. We're going to go straight into the burning question of the week, so let's have a quick look at what that is this week. So the burning question: were Reddit novices in the right to disrupt the stock market, or should it be left to the experts? So, what do we think? Have you been kind of following this one, Andrew? Is it something you kind of keep an eye on?
Yeah, I have. I have. Yeah, I had a good read of it, a bit of a refresh yesterday because it's been going on for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, to me, I think absolutely. That's it's entirely up to people what they want to do, and actually, to kind of put some of these companies in their place that really do. These hedge funds, and the amount of money they make is crazy. So why not? I think.
But does it not?
Um,
Does it not kind of, if everyone can kind of do this and kind of really just kind of trip out the system, the algorithm, does that then not put everything at, I'm playing devil's advocate here, and does this not
yeah,
put
yeah,
everything at at risk in terms of just what would be considered normal decent investments? So suddenly, if all the stocks of relatively failing businesses, what happens next? How can you kind of have invested with confidence in the market?
yeah. No, it is true. And I think that's why it's caused so much controversy, hasn't it? I think government's been getting involved, and all kinds of kind of questions have been raised. But if nothing else, maybe that's a good thing as well. Maybe it does kind of show the cracks in the system,
Mm.
and if they do be fixed, then fair enough. Yeah, there is the danger that people see a way of making a fast buck as well, and it's in a way it's like gambling.
Yeah,
It's can be quite a
yeah.
dangerous thing. So
I heard, just jump into chat. Firstly, Haswagon saying, great production in this stream on Twitch. Thank you very much, my man. I appreciate that. The guys have done a wicked job with the graphics on this one. And Callie, interesting question. What are your thoughts, Callie? Put them in the chat as well on YouTube. Love to find out what you think. But I mean, the danger, I guess, as well, is if this is organised in the sense that you can kind of like kick something off like this. If you get, you could kind of play the market and just suddenly kind of invest at the bottom and then just rise it up artificially,
mhm.
and then kind of pull out the top to then short the market and win on the downside as well. It could be quite a dangerous precedent if
Yeah.
this becomes a regular thing.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, definitely, definitely. For both sides as well. Your average Joe public that's getting involved, but also for the bigger companies as well. I think one lost about 13 billion overnight, which is insane, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
The fact
but
they had
often
13 billion to lose in the first place is quite insane. But hey,
that's true. But often it's that those hedge funds are a grouping of individuals that are trying to invest in kind of shares, in the sense of
yeah,
that be a fund, but it'll be potentially small investors. I have to, I don't know particularly that one, but I'm assuming it'll be a fund which is like a composite of smaller investors. And you mentioned actually it's kind of like that gambling. I heard actually because of lockdown, because of the lack of sporting activity and therefore gambling associated with sporting activity, the stock market is essentially where that's moved to. Like people are now just having a bit of a dabble when it comes to
yeah.
stocks and shares. Have you got involved? Did you find any kind of lockdown picks?
Oh, I'm not brave enough for any of that. I would be the one that made the most epic fail in any of this. So no, the most I do is I'll stick a fiver on the accumulators on a Saturday and just watch the football results come in. That's as
I
brave as
tell
I
you
get.
what, that is a gamble at the moment. And we're talking, if anyone's not in the UK, we're talking about Premier League. It's like, I mean, I think Southampton lost 9-0 last night. Sorry, any Southampton fans watching. But I'll tell you what, if you put money on that, you'd be quids in right now, because that is a
Yeah.
outrageous scoreline. Um,
Well, I'm an Arsenal fan, sadly, and it wasn't a great night for us either. So
yeah. Just jumping to chat. So Ollie Jordan, they're saying this has encouraged a lot of novice investors to get involved, and it would be dangerous to gamble with your money, especially if you're following hype trend that you haven't done your research. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right there, Ollie. If people are kind of late to the party, so if you kind of join that kind of hype very late, then it's obviously likely to come down at some point. So it's certainly still pretty risky. But if you're involved in the initial stages and you're kind of up, if you get there early, you could stand to kind of win, which is an interesting one. But yeah, it definitely is risk. And Cali, I think they had the right to do so. There was also a lot of anger from the 2008 Wall Street crash, and many people saw this as a revenge of sorts. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it is. I think I saw the interview with the who was the guy who's been, I can't remember his name, but the official Wolf of Wall Street, the guy that the original kind of film of Wolf of Wall Street was based on, and saying it's kind of, he was like, it's fair game. It's kind of like that's what it's kind of there for. It doesn't have to be just the big companies that get involved, and realistically you can lose that way anyway.
It reminded me a bit of what happened, a few years ago, and it's still happening now with Bitcoin and those sort of markets, where a lot of people made a lot of money having literally no knowledge in that kind of area. And I think maybe some people have seen that happening and thought, well, if they can do it, I'll have a go. But
absolutely,
it is a bit
still with risk. So this is not, just to be clear, we are not advisors, and we're not saying it does definitely come with some risks there. Awesome. Right, let's jump back into the interview. Brilliant. A true underdog story. Thank you very much for the comments there from Callie and Ollie. Appreciate those. We are now going to go and find out a little bit more about Andrew. Now, Andrew, and also Geo as well. So this is where we're going to go to our elevator pitch, and you're going to have 60 seconds to tell us about the business. And I have to say that most people they don't even need the 60 seconds. So we'll see how you get on with this one. We'll jump into the next scene. So this is the elevator pitch, and I think I've enabled the chat window here, guys. So if you do say hi, it should pop up on the screen on this window, as well as the main one as well. So if you've got comments, questions about Andrew and his business, please do put them in. This is the elevator pitch. Andrew, are you ready?
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, 60 seconds coming up on the clock now.
Okay, my name's Andrew. I'm director and founder of Geo Brand. We're brand communication specialists. We help businesses to get out their message, to get across the kind of the vibe that they want to pull in the right clients and customers for themselves. We are predominantly print specialists, and now we've evolved into much more digital, and we have a whole kind of in-house digital development team. So anything from brochures all the way through to websites, development, and all of those types of things. That's how we specialize. So we're currently Geo Brand, that's the main business, and we're soon to launch Digitalgeo, which will cover off all of our websites and all of the technical sides of our business.
Awesome.
So
10 seconds to spare. Awesome work. And I'm going to get rid of the timer there. There's also some really cool stuff that you've been doing as well. There was some, you're talking about some work you've done around sort of pub chains. Do you want to sort of explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so obviously with the pandemic and the challenges that a lot of businesses have found, we've been in a fortunate position to be able to help them out. We don't specialize in a specific sector, so we work with charities, we work in with startups, and most importantly at the moment we do a lot of work in the hospitality industry. So we've helped restaurant chains and bar chains to really kind of improve their digital presence. We work with a company that do order and pay systems, and so they've been very busy, but we've also been helping them to kind of help the hospitality market as well with things like forums and much more kind of supportive work than just selling their system. So
yeah. And how's it generally going? Because obviously it's quite important at the moment where businesses are trying to pivot. I've used the word. They're trying to adapt and find new ways. So how's it kind of working? Yeah,
it's good. Obviously, people need to adapt in certain ways. One example, anyone that's in Maidstone will know probably Frederick's Bistro, who have really struggled. Obviously, they've had to close. But they've adapted, they've pivoted, and they have a brilliant wine shop there, sell incredible wines, rums, gins, and so they've changed their offering just for the time being to do an e-commerce platform, and they're doing really well out of it. They're kind of doing well. And then people like Elite Pubs, who's a huge chain. Again, a lot of people will know those. They've actually, especially in the summer, they did incredibly well because they're so brand focused. So it's more about the experience and the food as opposed to just focusing on one area. So they've been doing well as well. So yeah, you definitely have to adapt, but there's a lot of positivity out there as well, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the year progresses, hopefully that positivity then builds into more momentum and, and more customers and people out and about enjoying life a little bit more as well, which will be good. We are, I believe, at the halfway point. There we go, halfway point there. That was again back in the day. It's slightly sad, those halfway points. They're all really nice photos of kind of stuff that we've done, which is both exciting and slightly depressing to remind yourself of actually what it was like before in the real world when we were kind of allowed out. So what's kind of the plan for Geo this year? Because obviously you've kind of gone through a bit of a rebrand as well. What's the sort of the next 12 months look like, do you think?
So, well, the next month, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be launching Digitalgeo, which is going to be on digitalgeo.co.uk. That is very much going to push on the websites and the hosting and the maintaining of websites that we do. We have Geo Brand, and that's our main business. That's the one where it's all the creativity, the impact, the kind of the language that we use for businesses to get their message across. Digitalgeo will really focus on the real technical aspect of what we do as well. So we're excited for that to launch. We also I mentioned about working in the charity sector. We do a lot of work with the wildlife trusts, Kent Wildlife, Hampshire and Somerset as well. So we're helping them with their messaging and their kind of their viewpoint for the next 20 years. So lots going on. And a good variety. Like what we enjoy is the variety within our business. We're not sector specific, so every day is different, and everyone just really enjoys it. So, and yeah, hopefully getting out of the kitchen one day, that'd be nice.
Well, yeah, but now that you've got all these kind of awesome lighting, why would you leave? There's no need. It's all self-contained. The joys, and it's predominantly WordPress sites. It's the focus on kind of on WordPress, is that right?
It is, yeah. We're quite proud of the fact that we are specifically WordPress focused websites. I think, I'm not kind of knocking any other way, whether it's a bespoke CMS system or whatever, because people need to go with what suits them. But we find that most of our clients, they love the fact they can rely on WordPress. It's such a widely used system now. So they can also work on them in the back end. And people used to kind of knock WordPress and said it was kind of not very secure and, it's kind of oversaturated. But actually that's to its benefit that it's oversaturated, because they are now really secure websites. And you can do a hell of a lot with them. They're a lot more adaptable if you've got the right people working on them. So
yeah, absolutely. No, really, really powerful system, isn't it? It's the flexibility is there that often sometimes isn't there with other potentially sometimes bespoke. Again, potentially I've caveated everything in that sentence, I think.
Yeah, well, you do hear horror stories about some people getting locked in with agencies that have their own bespoke systems and they can't get away.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really does bother me. I think people should be free to make their own decisions. Go on the stock markets if they want. It's up to them. But people should have choice, I think.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's now time that we go and find out a little bit more about your specialist knowledge. Okay, so this is now our new for 2021 Mastermind Challenge. Okay, so prepare yourself. Ooh. Ignore the timer. Don't worry, we haven't gone straight in because I haven't explained the rules yet. So that was just Don't panic. Okay, so I believe that your specialist subject is Britpop.
Yeah, we'll say specialist. I certainly like.
Or was it like, I don't know, just pick Britpop? Was that the kind of?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. No, I listen to a lot of music, so let's hope this works.
Right, I'm excited. I'm excited about this topic. So basically, you've got 60 seconds on the clock. I don't think I've set up the score thingy board. That's what word I'm looking for. So I'm just seeing if I can find the current leaderboard. If Alex, in my ear, if you can find the current leaderboard and tell me, so I can kind of read that out. But I believe we've had 3 people so far I think the top is 7, 6, and 5. I think so. 5 gets you on the leaderboard, or sorry, in a podium place. And I think 8 would put you top of the pops. See what I've done there? Okay, right. If you don't know the answer, remember you can pass, and I'll circle back if we kind of run out of questions to kind of go through those. If you get it incorrect, I'll just say incorrect and kind of move on to the next question. And guys, in chat, if you want to get involved, please do as we go along, because there'll be delay. So we're doing this about 20 seconds before you see it, so you're not going to give them the answers, so you can get involved as we kind of do this. That would be great. Okay, are you ready, sir?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do this. Okay, which radio DJ is widely credited with coming up with the term Britpop?
Stuart McConey?
Correct. Which London street features on the cover of Oasis What's the Story Morning Glory?
Berwick Street.
Correct. There's no mistake, I smell that smell. It's that time of year again. Name the track.
Pass.
Okay, moving on. Blur frontman Damien Albarn launched a side project with artist Jamie Hewlett of Virtual Band, consisting of 4 animated members. What is it called?
Gorillas.
Correct. Underworld's Born Slippy radiated across the techno scene in the 90s, but which famous film did it close?
Trainspotting.
Correct. What is the teen spirit Kurt Cobain was singing about?
Friends?
It is in fact a brand of deodorant.
Oh.
Who knew? And the other question, that's pretty good though. I was like, oh my god, you're in trouble. But they were great. They were great. Really good. Okay, so the question that you passed on, there's no mistake. I smell that smell. It's that time of year again. Name the track. That is Local Boy in the Photograph with Stereophonics.
Stereophonics,
That is a Danny Windsor question. Jack getting involved. Ollie in the chat. Good work, guys. And Callie, I know I'm with you on that one. I didn't know any of those either. So I was slightly worried for Andrew, but he absolutely stormed it. So the total score at the moment is 4 as we move on to the second round, which is the general knowledge round. So again, guys in chat, please feel free to play along. Have a little cheeky swig as we get ready for the next round. Here we go. Which city had the first ever fashion week?
Paris.
Incorrect. What nut is the middle of a Ferrero Rocher?
Hazelnut.
Correct. What's a baby rabbit called?
Pass.
Incorrect. How many minutes in a game of rugby league?
80.
Correct. Typically, what's the strongest muscle in the human body?
The tricep.
Incorrect. Wow, you must have strong triceps. Who did Anne Hathaway play in Les Miserables?
Pass.
What fruit takes the scientific name Magnifera indica?
Banana.
To be honest with you, I'm really sorry because I don't even know if I said this correctly. It's Mangifera indica. The correct answer was mango.
Makes sense.
Makes total sense. So the first one was which city had the first ever fashion week? That was New York in 1943. Let's have a look. Someone said, oh, Jack Earnsworth, he got mango, which means I must have said it correctly. Thank you for verifying there, Jack. I appreciate that. Who else got? Callie got hazelnut. Ferrero Rocher fan. Good to see. And which other ones have we got? So, yeah, a baby rabbit is apparently called a kit.
No chance. Didn't know that.
I did not know that. Can you show me your tricep muscles, please?
I thought you were good. They're really not that good, I'm afraid.
The strongest muscle in the human body.
I think I was thinking of. No, I was actually thinking of quads, but I got that. I got the wrong number.
number.
Probably still be wrong with quad.
Well, apparently it is the jaw muscle, the masseter. Masseter? I don't know. Masseter? I don't know how that's said.
Right.
So-
No idea.
no one can correct me on this one because I don't really know. And if you write it in chat, I'm just going to read it the same way anyway. But yeah, apparently the jaw muscle is the strongest. So that adds 2 to your score, Alex. That is, I believe, that is a total score of 6. Am I right in saying? Hang on, let's have a look at the leaderboard. That will put you in joint second place. Very, very respectable. So congratulations.
I'm happy with that.
And we've learned something as well. I'm loving the tricep as an answer. That's fantastic. Right, let's go back to the normal screen. Brilliant. Well done, sir. That was an impressive set of results there. And thanks, guys, in the chat. I think Callie, you got the kid. Oh no, you said kit. I think it was kit, not kid, for a baby rabbit there. But wow, some good knowledge there. If we didn't have the 20-second delay, that would really help because then you can actually steal the answers directly from the chat.
Well, I was a bit annoyed last week. I'm sure you showed Rob the answers for at least a second, maybe 2. I was hoping I might get a bit of that.
I did. No, well, that was when I was trying to share the leaderboard. I accidentally gave away the entire quiz, and I was just like panicking, kind of.
I was just waiting to screenshot it, but I didn't get that.
So you came prepared, but unfortunately, I haven't set the scene up, so I can't actually run even the attempt to run the leaderboard thing. If I press it, let's see what happens. Oh no, it's not on this one. Yeah, we can't see it on this one, I'm afraid, and I can't give away the answers. But regardless, that's a very, very respectable score. Unfortunately, that does put last week's guest Graham Barrett, who got 5 off the podium positions as well. So yeah. And thanks, guys, who just put that in the chat. The Business as Unusual show is 80% me mispronouncing things. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the support, okay? Tag, you're it next time. Over to you guys to do this and press all the buttons and stuff, yeah? Okay? A lot of buttons to press. I don't add the pressure on top of it. But right, that was a good show. What have you got planned what do you think that the next year will look like? Are you optimistic? Are you kind of like, do you think this is going to carry on for like another few months? What do you think is going to happen? Get the crystal ball out. What do you think is going to happen next?
What in general?
In general, in the world. Big question.
Yeah, well, I'm an optimist, and I like to think that, you know, as soon as the sun comes out and things start to kind of improve. I know it's not weather related, but I do feel like, you know, things are going well with the vaccines, and hopefully spring, early summer, I'd like to think people will start coming out of hibernation.
Yeah.
And I don't see why not. Things seem to be looking rosier, I think.
Agreed. I will second that with some positivity. It feels a bit bleak at the moment, and the start of the year has not been the best start of the year. But it does feel that I reckon a month's time, the world will feel a very different and hopefully happier place. I
think a lot of people were expecting it to be tough, like this part of the year, after Christmas and everything. And we've made it through January, so we're doing well.
We're doing all right. Head down, people. Head down. Just keep on plugging away. We're going to get to March, and March is going to be... I really hope that lockdown ends before the 23rd of March, because that was the start of the first one. That's my birthday, and I really don't want 2 lockdown birthdays. Okay, so there is light at the end of the tunnel, absolutely. The Lounge Lizard Gamer, awesome name. There is light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel's longer than we thought, and the light might be smaller, but hey, beers in a pub very, very soon. I like your thinking. I like where your head's at. Before we wrap things up, Andrew, is there anyone that you wanted to shout out, businesses that are doing an epic job that you just wanted to say well done to?
Well, absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm a big believer in collaboration, as you know, Luke. We've worked together on a few bits, and so people like Terry Hewitt, who's come in as our chairman. He's been fantastic. We work a lot with B at B Heard Marketing. And Scott at AdPlan, he's our go-to printer for large format and things like that. So they've been great as suppliers. But other than that, just a huge thank you to the team. Like, everybody has stayed so positive. We're catching up every day, well, twice a day most days, and always in constant communication. And they're just a great bunch of people to work with. So thanks for them for staying positive and keeping the wheels turning.
Absolutely, yeah, great shout outs. And it is a get through this together mentality right now, isn't it? And final
Yeah.
comment before I'm going to call out from the chat from Jack there: beers and tricep workouts for the Geo team soon. I love it. Amazing. Thanks very much for coming on the show, Andrew. It's been great having you, and no doubt catch up with you again at some point very, very soon. Guys, that is it for another show 58. We're going to be back here again next Wednesday at the same time. It's going to be another fantastic guest. So do make sure that if you aren't subscribed or aren't following us, depending on what channel you're viewing, click that button, whatever it's a bell or a thumb or whatever it is for the platform that you're watching on. And thanks very much for getting involved in the chat. It makes it a lot more fun and engaging for me as well. So thanks very much for that. And we'll see you again in a week's time. No matter what is going on in the world, for us, it's just business as unusual.